You know, I'm a huge wrestling fan, and one of the things I remember are sound bites. And Bobby the Brain Heenan said before Goldberg took on Hulk Hogan, "Gentlemen, start your engines."
No, baby, that's for somebody else. We're just gonna keep you right where you're at right now.
It doesn't matter what you think.
The Wrestling Realm presents Break It Down with Brian H.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm Brian H. Waters. Shout out to the one, the only Hypno Beats, my cousin Mike, who made that glorious intro music. I put together the rest of the stuff. Get ready. As you see, the Wrestling Realm is back. Break It Down with Brian H. Here's my podcast. This is where I get to talk to you each and every week about the happenings in professional wrestling. So, those who, let me give you a little intro, a little something, those who knew. I've been gaining a lot of wrestling fans as Twitter and Facebook friends in the past couple of weeks, which is always good, It's always good to connect with other fans who enjoy the business, who enjoy talking about the business, because you have a lot of fans out there, but then you have some who just love talking about it. So, just a little intro of myself, Brian H. Waters. Been doing this Wrestling Realm thing with my co-host, the real Dwayne Allen. Before that, I had a wrestling talk show. It was called Wrestle Talk with Bear and B-Dub with my cousin, and that went on for about a year. We have a few episodes still on YouTube. You can find it if you search for hard enough. But went to college, went to Morgan State University, met the real Dwayne Allen. And first day of class, we talked. I wasn't going to bring up my wrestling show, but it was my friend Danielle. Shout out to her. She was like, and he has a wrestling show. And I was like, Danny, hold on. Let's not talk about that. And in the back of the class is the realness said, there's nothing wrong with that. Instantly, a friendship was born. And if you talk to anybody else, they'll tell you. We used to talk wrestling every day after class. If there was a class project, you knew the two of us would be working on it. Fast forward, that was in 2011. We started the Wrestling Realm. Went hard at it for 2 years. I ended up moving to Connecticut to work at the Worldwide Leader. Stayed up there for 2 years. Did not too much wrestling stuff. A couple of wrestling tweets as we got ready for WrestleMania 31. Moved back to Baltimore. Worked with Fox Sports Radio 1340. Shout out to my man Glenn Thomas down there in Virginia. Left that this past fall. The Wrestling Realm made a return. And, we're here back to give you different types of content. Make sure you follow us. But you'll get those channels later. Well, no, you're going to get them now at Wrestling Realm with a WREALM. Make sure you're locked into all our content. So, I was talking to the realness. I said, I'm going to do this podcast. I'm ready. I know exactly how I want to do it. I've been wanting to do something for a while, but just wasn't sure exactly how I was going to do it. And one thing I learned, especially from the real Dwayne Allen, you're going to do it, you got to do it right. So it's no more just, hey, you know what? I like wrestling. I'm going to set up a camera in front of the kitchen and just talk about it. No, everything's got to be done right. So that's where, I came up. Break It Down with Brian H. So I'm ready. Let's get right into the show. And we're going to get started with our first segment.
Going up to the top rope.
It's time for this week's Top Rope segment of the week.
And now, the top rope. For me, what is the top rope? That's what you're asking. Well, the top rope is something we used to do back in the day, and I'm bringing it back. And the top rope is something, my favorite thing in wrestling this week. And for me, it's Roman Reigns getting suspended. Actually, let's start with him cutting his promo and showing passion, how angry he is, and then getting suspended. Now, here's the thing I liked about it, folks. Roman went out there, and he let Kurt Angle, he let the WWE Universe know, I'm tired of it. I'm here every week while Brock Lesnar's sitting there collecting a paycheck. The word this week was Lesnar would not be there. He no-showed again. Now, I like what the WWE is doing right here. Give us a chance. The biggest thing was, let's be real, we knew this match was coming. Shout out to my boys View from the Top Rope, because I asked them, would we have enjoyed the match more if we didn't know it was coming? We heard the rumors, and as a wrestler fan, you try to stay away from it, but sometimes you just cannot. We knew the rumors of this match after last year's WrestleMania, but how was we going to get there? How was they going to make us cheer for Roman Reigns? Guess what? They did it. They succeeded. We're cheering. You get some people cheering for Reigns because he's going out there. Who can't relate to doing all the work on their job and then somebody else coming in and taking credit for it? Everybody's experienced that once or another. So that's my top rope segment of the week. I really love the interaction with him and Vince McMahon. I love Roman telling Shane, "No, you stay in your place between me and your dad," because as much as it seems like Roman is a Vince McMahon guy, it almost showed like they was toying with us and gave us the opposite. And while we won't necessarily see a Roman versus Vince feud, because I don't think we need that. Roman's obviously not Stone Cold Steve Austin, nor is he The Rock. I think that was very important. Kind of breaking down the fourth wall a little bit. So great job. That's my top rope segment. But let's go continue with the show. Let's move on to the other main event. Or maybe some people are saying this is the match everybody wants to see. AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. Now, let's rewind 2 years ago. 2016, AJ Styles was making his debut into the WWE at the Royal Rumble. Shinsuke Nakamura made his debut at TakeOver Dallas. Fast forward, these two guys are in the main event. Leaps and bounds over a different talent. Kevin Owens, Dolph Ziggler. And it's the people put AJ Styles there. And he obviously, like he said, they said that you deserve a chance, but he earned it. Him winning big on the six-pack challenge, especially when everybody thought that John Cena might win. I ain't gonna say everybody. A few people thought maybe Cena's gonna win and it's gonna suck because we're going to Cena and Shinsuke, the politics. But instead, we're not getting that. We're getting AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura, and the build-up is going to be great. I wish I would have loved to see them build it up a little bit more. I understand AJ had to go through the six-pack challenge, but I still would have loved to see Shinsuke kind of being a little annoying exponent. But nonetheless, we're going to get the match. And, I'll give you, I'm going to tell you this. Right now, I just don't see AJ Styles losing the WWE Championship anytime soon. I'm sure we're going to get more into that the weeks to come as we get closer and closer to WrestleMania, but I just do not see it, ladies and gentlemen. Now, speaking of John Cena, last night, well, I should say because I'm recording this on Tuesday after SmackDown, John Cena on Monday said he doesn't have a match for WrestleMania. But then he went to call out The Undertaker. Now, here's another time you got to let the story play out. Personally, I said it time and time again, I don't want to see Undertaker. Now, I'm going to be truthful. I'm going to be honest. I was being selfish because I was at WrestleMania 33 and I did not want to see Undertaker wrestle after that moment. What I wanted to say is I saw The Undertaker's last match. But seeing John Cena get so personal, seeing him discuss the workout videos, you never talk about The Undertaker working out. He's a dead man, for goodness sakes. But, ladies and gentlemen, who's going into the Hall of Fame this year? Kid Rock. Would we possibly see the American Badass one more time? After all, Taker left all the stuff in the ring. Now, we know he put it on for Raw 25. So, who knows? Just wait and see. Now, if I get that, I will be fine. I'm pretty sure I will like the match either way. But at this point, unless WWE swerves us, there's no way we don't get that match. So, only time will tell. Let's move on to SmackDown. Dare say the secondary main event for SmackDown. Tonight it was announced, Shane McMahon, he announced that he would be taking an indefinite leave of absence. But before he did that, he made a match that, dare say, the independent wrestling fans dreamed of. That is Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn at WrestleMania. This is a match now just understand this. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens have been rivals, friends since their days at Ring of Honor. These two gentlemen, is a story about them meeting Stone Cold Steve Austin in an airport. To see these guys going head up at WrestleMania, as the real Dwayne Allen said, they're going to try to steal the show. And just to see how far like WrestleMania has come, we wouldn't have, we were like, no, there's no way we're going to get this. And if we got them two in the ring together, it would have been in like a gimmick match or something. But getting a one-on-one match between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, you got to believe that this has been something they pushed forward to, and I love the way the story was done, because what happened after the match was made, they both came out there and they said some words. Go watch SmackDown. I'm not going to get into all the words they said. But what happened was they beat up Shane McMahon and they really sent him away. So, you got to believe Shane is taking some time off. Would have loved to see him do it after WrestleMania. I guess I'm not going to get Daniel Bryan versus Shane McMahon, which sucks. But, then again, you never know what could happen. But Shane McMahon, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens beat them up. They teamed up together. Now they're going to focus on each other. I don't know if you call this a split yet, or is this just two people who are friends, but they kind of have a friendly competition. I know people say, what are you talking about? But I'm ready to see how this plays out. What happens after this is over? Is this like Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio back in the day? Or is this really a rivalry that's becoming like Chris Jericho and Christian? So only time will tell. Let's move on to another McMahon. Stephanie McMahon and Triple H. Matter of fact, let's hit the cue to we move on to the next segment.
Here's our tapped out segment of the week.
Yes. Stephanie McMahon is in my tapped out segment, but not because of her. What is the tapped out? Ladies and gentlemen, the tapped out is the segment that I just didn't like. This is the segment that's not like, what did I not like about wrestling this week? And that is the fact that Ronda Rousey was not there. From what I'm reading, that she might not be there till the day after WrestleMania. Till the day before WrestleMania, the go home show. No, that's not cool. She came out there, she said she's going to be there every week, and then all of a sudden she's not going to be there. So, yeah, I'm not happy about that at all. So, but we got her and Stephanie and Triple H going against Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey. It's a match that's great for television. It's great for mainstream media. How about this? Mike Tyson and Ronda Rousey was compared to each other. Just to give you a little story. When I was at ESPN, I was tweeting one of her fights, and after the fight was over, I posted a graphic that said her and Mike Tyson were similar because they were both just, dominant. And now their similarities continue because we see Mike Tyson came to the WWE after he lost and got suspended. Rousey didn't necessarily get suspended, but she had two major losses, and now she's moved on and she's in the WWE. So that's interesting, to say the least, just to see how their careers continue. But let's move on let's stay with the women right here. We want to talk about Asuka. Asuka made her decision at WWE Fastlane. She's going against Charlotte. And Charlotte said she wanted the challenge. Asuka said she wanted the challenge. It's going to be a very friendly match. There's no... the build-up should be great. I know we're getting two baby faces again for both SmackDown Major Championships, babyface versus babyface, which is interesting because I guess we call it the SmackDown. It seems like that's the babyface brand. But Asuka and Charlotte, that's the dream match. You're talking two of the best women's wrestlers in the world, two of the best women's wrestlers who shine bright at NXT and now shining bright on the main roster. The collision course was bound to happen. You're talking Asuka, the inaugural Women's Royal Rumble winner, and it's just her and Charlotte. Oh, this is going to be awesome. I would love to see Charlotte go heel. She's doing a great job as a face, but she's an awesome heel. You look at her, and we always talk about, a lot of my friends, we always talk about second generation athletes having a hard time living up to the expectations, living up to the hype that their parents did, or living up to the name. Charlotte has surpassed that name. If David Flair was everything that was wrong with, and was the poster boy for why you shouldn't be a wrestler if your father was a wrestler, Charlotte is the poster girl on why you should be a wrestler if your father is a wrestler. But let's move on to Raw, because speaking of Asuka, she went on Raw and she basically was letting everybody know why she made the decision. And you could make the case like, well, I mean, we see her and Alexa Bliss enough times, and she said she wanted to challenge, she wanted to face the better champion, which, you know, the argument, I mean, Charlotte did beat Alexa Bliss at Survivor Series. So, make that argument, and you have Asuka comes out there, and then Alexa Bliss comes out and says, no, you were scared. And then she puts her in a match with Mickie James. But what is that, like, what is all this for? Why is Asuka still on Raw if she's already made her decision? Well, they had to close out the story. And this is how we get to Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax. Because Nia Jax was supposed to face Asuka for the, she was supposed to face her for, and beat her up for Alexa Bliss and Mickie James. Unfortunately, she didn't. Then we have a GTV-like thing. Now, for those of my young listeners, GTV was, I believe it was called Goldust TV, or it may have been him, or maybe it was Revealed or something. But GTV was a spy camera back in the Attitude Era. And a lot of times, and it was very black and white. I'm pretty sure you may have seen some stuff on YouTube or WWE Network, but if you haven't, it was very cool, because what would happen is you would see people get caught doing stuff they had no business doing, or you see people get beat up. There was one time where Val Venus got beat up because he was talking about his merchandise, and he compared himself to the Big Show, and Big Show beat him up in the bathroom. You see people just all types of pranks. So they didn't leave it black and white. I love how they did it. It was shot differently, but they also had, you know, Alexa Bliss and Mickie James was waiting for the announcer, Charlie, and while they were waiting, they was just talking. And one thing I teach people, the microphone is always on. Well, what happens? Alexa Bliss, Mickie James, they get caught on camera talking bad about Nia Jax. They later find out when Charlie comes and says, hey, the microphone was never turned off. Now you have an issue, because now Alexa Bliss and Mickie James are looking at each other like, uh-oh, we didn't know that was going to happen. So next, Nia Jax, she's very emotional, and she started crying. Then she came back there and went to destroy the entire room. And people may say, well, Nia should be booked as a heel. She should be, or a dominant, unstoppable force. Well, here's why she isn't, folks. Nia Jax is like kind of, I want to say behind as in a bad thing, but Sasha, Bayley, Alexa Bliss, Charlotte, Asuka, they were all like ahead of her. So she's chasing the title still. So if she's booked as dominant, who's coming up behind her? Shayna Baszler's not ready. She's getting ready to go after the women's title in NXT. Kairi Sane, the Mae Young Classic winner, she's not ready. Do you really put Ember Moon in that spot? I mean, I know people are thinking she's going to get called up soon. I personally don't. So you don't have nobody to dethrone her. When you was booking Karma to come in and beat everybody up, everybody knew at that time the collision course was between Karma and Beth Phoenix. So because we don't have a collision course, that's why we do not get Nia Jax in that way. So Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax, we see it coming, and I see Nia Jax eventually dethroning Alexa Bliss for the title. Sasha and Bayley, man, you know, that's the build-up, and it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. It's going to be interesting to see who goes heel, who goes face. I've been saying this for the longest time. People don't want to agree with me, but I've been telling y'all we need to make Sasha a face and make Bayley a heel. Let's see how far Bayley's range is. Only time will tell. Now, I got to address this. Moolah, Battle Royal. Those do not know. WWE made an announcement. Similar to the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, they will be introducing the Moolah Battle Royal. And it's an opportunity for all the women to get on the card. We know that. Now, where's the controversy? I invite everybody to go onto the gimmick called Google and see why there's an issue. You will see, you may learn some things about Moolah that you did not know before. You may learn some, a lot of nice things out there. So that's why there's a lot of controversy. Moolah had a bad reputation for allegedly pimping out girls, and there's more stuff out there. I was listening to my buddy Jay Aleto and from the PWP Nation. I almost gave his old name, Pro Wrestling Powerhouse, which is a site I used to write for. Actually still do, because I wrote a Raw 25 article. Shout out to Jay and them. I'm be coming back with something soon. But when you look at, they saying like, let's remove her name and let's not call it that. And one of the things that Jay said on his podcast was, let's focus on the women. Yeah, we might not like the name, but WWE's not changing. So don't waste your energy going on your Twitter gimmick and saying, let's get rid of it. No, let's focus on the women. Who wins this? My first thought, Becky Lynch. I don't know why. I just saying Becky Lynch. So tweet me, who do you think will win the Moolah Battle Royal? The inaugural, maybe. Maybe it's inaugural, maybe it's not. But who will win that Battle Royal? So that's going to be interesting. Before we get into our next segment, we have Randy Orton, the Grand Slam champion. There's no doubt about Randy Orton is a top 10 WWE superstar of all time. All right, maybe there are some doubts, but I'm pretty sure you'll find a few people who have him in their list, if not their top 5. Him beating Bobby Roode, I feel let down by this feud. Now, I didn't see the match yet. I had a concert on Sunday, didn't get in time to see it, but I was looking forward to this match since Bobby Roode was in TNA, and I haven't watched it yet. And I guess maybe because everybody kept telling me it wasn't that great. Said it was a slow build, so I've been hearing different things about it. But I wish they were on opposite sides. I can't take this feud seriously. One, with gender getting involved, and then two, with both of them being faces. But I understand gender's role. I know we're getting a rematch at WrestleMania. I would just be happy to see it as a triple threat. Let's get Jinder on the card. I mean, I don't care what y'all say, he was a good WWE champion. He was a great ambassador for the company overseas. And he was different, without a shadow of a doubt. And we've seen a different Jinder Mahal this year versus the one last year.
It's time for Wrestling for the Culture, where we take a look inside to see what the wrestlers of color have been doing this week.
Wrestling for the Culture. Thank you. So, Wrestling for the Culture, let's see, this week we got Titus O'Neil. He should actually be back, but WWE did a cool showing how he went to South Africa being an ambassador for the company. Titus O'Neil will be, obviously WWE's getting ready to go on a tour, so he's going out there. We know how great of an ambassador is. I'm calling it now. Titus O'Neil will be a WWE Hall of Famer. He might not be because of all his in-ring work, but definitely his outside contribution. Titus O'Neil. Usos, New Day had a no contest at WWE Fastlane. Went on SmackDown. Jimmy Uso, Big E, they were the only two who were able to wrestle after that horrendous beating they took from the Bludgeon Brothers. And guess what? They got beat again. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to them. Rich Swann, former WWE Cruiserweight Champion, cancels his bookings. Very disturbing. I'm just going to say that. I was on his Twitter, and, I'm going to just say, send our best wishes and thoughts, and if he needs help, that he gets the help that he needs. I know he, on his Twitter, said it looked like contemplating retiring. He's also talking about how WWE removed him for being somebody who was accused of something, but they got somebody who robbed a bank still on the roster. But we'll see. Bianca Belair, is she not next in line for the WWE, the NXT Women's Championship contention? She's just been dominating, and speaking of dominating, if you watched her last match, she took on a young lady by the name of Miss Drew Renee. Miss Drew Renee, I actually had the pleasure of interviewing her for my column starring Wrestling for the Culture, starring in this one, starring Miss Drew Renee. Check that out. See how she got started in the wrestling business. See what just see who was her mentors. Check it out. I also have a couple other interviews. Current WSU Spirit Champion Kiera Hogan, current member of the Impact Wrestling roster. Also Willow Nightingale and Brandon Watts. So a couple of cool interviews there. Definitely check them out. And now for our final segment.
And now for this week's questions from the Wrealm.
So let's get these questions in. First, we got the real K Nelson, my friend Kelsey Nicole Nelson, who you can find on Fox Sports Radio and various other promotions. Check her out on Listen In with KNN. She asked, "What do I think of Ronda Rousey so far in the WWE?" Right now, it's difficult to say. I would love to see Rousey in the ring more. I would love to see, I know she's not the best microphone, but I would love to see her interact with the girls, or at least interact with Stephanie and Triple H and Kurt Angle more, or maybe having Kurt Angle train her. But, you know, she was on Ellen. I understand she's going to be doing promoting, but if we're going to see her every week, I want to see her every week, and I want to see her every week going into WrestleMania. Next question comes from my man Cody Stewart, which you can find him on Twitter at _Cody Stewart. Cody is one of the hosts of the MNC Sports Report, which is brought to you by Fox Sports Radio. And he says, with all the talent on the Raw and SmackDown roster, should each brand introduce a new belt? Also, is it time for the women's division to add tag belts? Tag belts, yes. I say you have one tag team championship, and that women's tag team championship, and those champions go from both shows. I don't think it's time for another belt. I think I like the chase. You got the U.S. title. You have the U.S. title. You have the Intercontinental title. Now, I'll say this. I would like to see maybe the United Kingdom title make an appearance in the United States more, but we've seen those guys being booked more as NXT guys rather than WWE guys, so I understand why that's not happening. We got Brandon Williams. Is John Cena ever going to break the tie with Ric Flair and win his 17th championship? Shout out to Brandon Williams. You can find him at _BWillMedia. Brandon. Yes, it's going to happen. John Cena will be a 17-time WWE champion. Will he win it this year? I don't know. I thought last year would have been perfect, 17 and 17, but apparently that's not going to happen. So we'll find out. And Brandon also asked the question, will Charlotte be the one to break Asuka's streak? Well, it could happen. I don't think so, and I don't think it will happen yet. I just don't. I would love to see it happen, but I just don't think it'll happen yet. But I also don't. I don't know how do you, and that's why I don't like win streaks. I don't see Asuka winning I don't see Charlotte breaking Asuka's streak, to answer the question. But I do think she'll beat her eventually. So we have my man Glenn Thomas at GFather725, and he asks, what will Dolph Ziggler's role be at WrestleMania? Well, there was rumors that it was going to be Shane McMahon, but I don't know. And Dolph deserves a singles match, but I don't see who do you put him on the roster. We don't want to see him versus Baron Corbin. I said I would have liked to see him versus John Cena, but and Baron Corbin, I don't know what do you do with him either. He's another one. So I'm not sure. What do you do with him? That's a good question. I just don't know. I just think he ends up in a gimmick match. Maybe he ends up in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, which would be such a disservice to him, considering all that he's done and considering how much they're paying him. So John Cena would be the best bet, but I just don't think that's going to happen. So we'll find out. And the last question of the day comes from the Big Gold Belt Podcast. The question is, seems to be a hot topic today on Twitter. Did Alexa Bliss hidden camera scene go too far? No, I thought it was perfect. You have to get the sympathy factor behind Nia Jackson. How do you get the sympathy factor behind Nia Jackson? I hate to say it, but you kind of gotta humanize her and show that she can relate. And everybody's been bullied one way, shape, or form. She's been bullied because of her size. Yes, we see now Total Divas. We do know that it's, we do know that's something that bothers her, but she can overcome that, and that's what we're going to see at WrestleMania. So if that's the payoff, I'm fine. But what if she doesn't? Is it wasted? Maybe so. And you know where I'm going at with this one. WrestleMania 19, Triple H and Ric Flair, the stuff they said to Booker T, that was too far because there was no payoff. Like it was a payoff between Harley Race and Vader going against Ron Simmons. So if Nia Jax gets the payoff and becomes the champion at WrestleMania, then it's a payoff. Therefore, they didn't go too far. And last, said also, did they get it right with the Women's Battle Royal, whom they named it after? No, they didn't. But so here's the thing, though. What other woman would you name it after? You're not going to name it after China. You already had the Mae Young Classic. The WWE Universe recognizes Mae Young and Moolah as the godmothers of women's wrestling. Like, you could say Wendy Richter, you could say Leilani Kai, you could say Alundra Blaze. The younger generation remembers that, but before them, they had to look up to somebody. You never hear about Andre the Giant looking up to anybody, not figuratively, obviously not figuratively, or literally, but figuratively. So, you know, well, maybe Vince McMahon Sr. because he was the boss. So there's nobody else to name the Battle Royal after. So I understand why people are upset. I think it would have been better just being a Women's Battle Royal. God knows we don't want to name it Miss WrestleMania. We saw how that happened. So I understand the issues, but we have to remember, if they're naming it after somebody, who else better? So, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it. Thank you. I really appreciate you taking the time to sit here with me and listen to me talk wrestling. This is where I belong. This is home. Everybody knows I'm a huge wrestler fan. This is my favorite time of the year, WrestleMania season. Make sure you check me out at Brian H. Waters, on Instagram, on Twitter. Follow my fan page. Make sure you're checking out the Wrestling Wrealm at Wrestling Wrealm it's on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We're everywhere. Google Plus, you name it, we're there. Check out some of the cool stuff we did on our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe there. Yes, the real Dwayne Allen and I reenacted the NWO's paid promotions video, and I can't credit my younger but bigger brother enough for the vision and the execution for that video. So make sure you check that out. Drop a comment and a like. Make sure you tweet me. Let me know your thoughts on the show. Is there something that you wanted me to talk about and I didn't? Let me know. Until the next time, folks, I'm Brian H. Waters. So long, everybody.